A local Thanksgiving mission that feeds 2,500 people, the 21st annual Christmas on the Square, and this week's college football roundup with Russell Parker and Lance Jenkins. All this and more on your Tuesday edition of Live at 5, and it all starts right now. Good evening, I'm Haley Gordon.
And I'm Kelsey Rushing.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Champion Ford Lincoln, where you can get champion prices at your Rockingham Ford dealership. Live at 5 will not air on Thursday and Friday to give our staff the opportunity to spend time with their families. But tomorrow's edition will be a special Thanksgiving edition as we celebrate all the things we at the Richmond Observer and Live at 5 can be thankful for.
With that said, let's get right to it, and now for tonight's top story.
Boyce Carpenter of East Rockingham United Methodist Church created a vision years ago to feed the needy during Thanksgiving, and this past Saturday, he and the many volunteers that are part of this event fed approximately 2,500 people. To help with the cost of this program, Bojangles allowed them to have part of their profits for one night, and several area churches took part in the event. Carpenter will be in studio for this upcoming Monday's edition of Live at 5, and we will talk to him about the project and how it has helped many people during the Thanksgiving this year. It's really a wonderful mission, and how nice it is to start off the news off today with something positive. Always a good thing to do. You know, Thanksgiving is a time to really be thankful for what we have, and it's so good to hear people in the community taking care of those around us who really need it during this special time of year.
There'll be a variety of vendors set up, which includes crafters, food vendors, local businesses, and more. Entertainment is also provided throughout the day, some of which include school and church groups, local artists, as well as food rides and activities for children. The Lions Club Vision Van will be on site to give free vision checks, and the Rockingham Police Department will be offering fingerprinting for children free of charge. Last but not least, Santa will be on the square all day with gifts for children. To rent a booth, available openings for craft vendors only. Contact Ford by November 24th at 910-895-9088.
Discovery Place is giving thanks for the wonder of science, nature, imagination, and play this year with extended holiday hours. You can bring your family to Discovery Place Rockingham, as the facility will be open until 5 on Friday, November 24th, to give visitors an extra hour to explore and discover. For more information about Discovery Place, visit kids.discoveryplace.org/Rockingham.
Richmond County Hospice will host Christmas Coffee Connections in conjunction with the Richmond County Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday, December 5th from 8 to 9 a.m. Richmond County Hospice is a major player in the community, constantly working to better the Richmond County community. The public is invited to be part of this networking event. Stay with us, folks. Lance Jenkins and Russell Parker join us in studio next to break down this past weekend's college football and NASCAR action. Is coming up right after these messages.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
At Richmond Community College, we can prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion Ford for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Ford for 13 years.
1 whole year. 15 years. I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from high prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
And welcome in. I'm Lance Jenkins, a guest in studio today, and excited to be here on this Tuesday session, our weekly football, college football and NASCAR analysis, and really looking forward to it today. Because, as a matter of fact, should we start with football or NASCAR?
Let's start with football.
All right, let's start with football. So last week, you'll take a look on the screen, our picks. Russell and I both got North Carolina State wrong. We both got Georgia Tech wrong. Duke.
I was surprised by both those losses on that one.
I was too. Well, I knew Wake Forest is a tough team. I said that last week, but State, I thought they would get the job done. They did not get the job done on the road. I figured they'd have a strong presence there for Wolfpack fans. That didn't happen. Georgia Tech and Duke. Now that one's blown my mind because no way did I see Georgia Tech beating Virginia Tech one week and coming out and losing to Duke.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen either.
Did not see that coming. But of course, you and I both got the Wisconsin pick right, the Miami pick right, but Virginia gave them a fight for a while.
Oh, yes, they did.
They did. And, of course, UCF remains undefeated.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. Before we get on to this week's picks, I want to ask you, UCF, they're undefeated at the end of the season, and there's only 3 undefeated teams in Power 5 conferences, which can happen.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, are there only 2? But anyway, the point is that there's not going to be 4 undefeated teams, point blank. Does UCF deserve a chance in the college football playoff?
You know, their conference overall is kind of I don't want to say it's a weak conference. They're in the American Athletic Conference, and there's not really a lot of good teams in that conference that they play. So they got a great schedule of they got a good record, undefeated, but I don't think they're playing enough strong teams that's got other strong schedules either. So I don't think they should be higher up, though. I do believe that College Football Playoff Committee is not giving them enough credit.
I agree. 14 in the country, and you are undefeated. I mean, I know you're not in a Power 5 conference, but UCF they are winning, and there's something to be said for winning that many games in a row. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week.
And USF, South Florida, they're 9-1, and they're not even ranked. The playoff committee didn't even rank them. Now that blows my mind. And they're playing each other this week too, so that should be a good game.
That blows my mind too. 9-1 and not ranked.
Exactly.
Yeah, Charlie Strong doing a good job down at USF at South Florida, and it'll be interesting to see. So rivalry week is upon us.
Yes.
One of the greatest weeks in college football.
And it kicks off the conference championships and the bowl season coming up too. Best week in college football right here.
Now let's talk about a game of major playoff implications. One, Alabama with a loss could still find their way into the playoff. However, they won't find their way into the conference title game. The winner of this should advance to the conference title game.
Should, yes.
So Auburn and Alabama this year, Jordan-Hare Stadium going to be hosting. The Tigers will be hosting the Crimson Tide.
You know how much a ticket costs to get in that game this week?
I'd be interested.
The lowest price right now is $260.
Ooh, and that's the nosebleeds. Good gosh. Of course, it's probably not a bad seat in the house, but for that to be the lowest price, I mean, good gosh. Big game.
Oh, yes.
Alabama, number 1 in the country, against number 6, Auburn. With a win, Auburn would have beaten 2 teams ranked number 1 in a matter of weeks, and they'll have the chance to do that this week. Does Auburn get the job done against your Crimson Tide?
Yeah, I don't think Auburn's going to get it done. I'm not saying that because I'm an Alabama fan. Even if I was looking at this from the outside, I would still pick Alabama. However, it's going to be one tough game. Both teams are really great on the defense side, but I think Alabama's going to get them on the offense side a little bit better.
Well, Russell, not so fast, my friend. In the words of the great Lee Corso, I'm going Tigers on this one, folks. Alabama could be, I think they could get into the playoffs still, but they are going to be looking on the outside of the conference title game.
You know, if Alabama does lose, I don't think they're going to get into the playoffs. I just don't think that would happen.
Really?
Yes, because there's so many other good teams that can get in there. There's a lot of teams that are below that cutoff that have more potential to probably be in a better competition with those other teams.
If I am, and honestly, talking about the College Football Playoff Committee, if Alabama happens to lose this game, which may not happen, and certainly the statistics show it won't, but if Auburn wins this game, okay, and they lose the conference title game to Georgia, one, does that Auburn's definitely out at that point, but does that make Alabama look more favorable then, and does that put Georgia back into the playoff picture?
Yeah, I would say Georgia will be back in it, and with Alabama, if they lost to Auburn this week, and then Auburn does lose to Georgia, I think that's going to hurt Alabama. They should have beaten Auburn if you're going to lose to Georgia. So I think it's going to hurt Alabama if they were to lose this game and Auburn loses the championship. But if Auburn loses, or excuse me, if Georgia loses, maybe Alabama and Auburn could both be in it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Very possible if Auburn finishes out, I can't see how you can put a two-loss team into the playoffs and not put Alabama with one loss.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can do that.
Like you said earlier, they would have beaten two top number one teams.
Right.
So I think they've got a pretty good incentive there.
It'd be very tough to see. Auburn is my pick. His pick's Alabama. We'll see.
Roll Tide.
One of us is going to be right. The Ohio State and Michigan coming up this week. A big rivalry, one of the biggest in college football history. Michigan ranked number 21 right now, though that's probably going to change tonight with their loss this past weekend to Wisconsin. Ohio State will maintain the top 10 ranking. Ohio State on the road at the Big House in front of a lot of blue and yellow fans.
Oh, yeah.
Is Michigan going to get the job done, or is Ohio State going to come up with a win that is expected of them?
I would think Ohio State will get this one done. And regardless if they win or lose, they're still going to play Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship. But I think Ohio State will like to win that game because if they win that and then defeat Wisconsin, I think they might find themselves back into the playoff picture.
Michigan in the Big House this week. I'm going to use my head here. I think Ohio State gets the job done as well. UNC and North Carolina State. Of course, if you're a Tar Heel fan, don't waste your time watching this. Wolfpack. Are the Wolfpack going to get the job done this week? Because last week, things didn't look so hot on the road against Wake Forest. But Carolina is definitely not the team Wake Forest is. State's playing at home. Did the Wolfpack get the job done at home?
I do believe Wolfpack will get it done. UNC just have not had a great season this year, and I don't know where they're going to go from here at this point. I think now they're just wanting to get this season over with, but they're not even going to go bowling after this one. So I think NC State's going to get this one done.
The only bowling that Carolina's going to do is if they come to Rockingham, go to Strikers, because they sure ain't going to a college football bowl this year. Isn't that a great feeling? That's a really good feeling for a Wolfpack fan like myself. But nonetheless, Wolfpack get the job done this week. Notre Dame, still a big contender, likely not in the college football playoff scene, but they will be playing their rival Stanford on the road this upcoming Saturday. And, of course, that's been a long-time rivalry.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Notre Dame has such a rivalry with two California teams, Stanford, Northern California, of course, Southern Cal, in Southern Cal, Los Angeles. Does Stanford get the job done at home against Notre Dame, or does Notre Dame show us they're still a strong team?
You know, I'm actually going to go with Stanford on this one. If they get lucky, they could even find themselves in the playoff pictures just a little bit. If they were to have Washington State lose against Washington, and that would put them in the Pac-12 championship game. If they win that and a lot of luck happens with the top 10 teams losing, they could probably find themselves up there. Possibly.
Long shot, but possible.
Very, very long shot, but I do think Stanford can get it done against Notre Dame.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame here. I think the Fighting Irish, they played a good team in Miami. Their other loss, I forgot who Notre Dame lost to in the first game.
I think it was Georgia.
It was Georgia, yes. Of course, they lost to a very strong Georgia team. They lost to a very strong Miami team, both that are playoff contenders. I think they get the job done on the road. I'm going to Fighting Irish. And then finally, Clemson and South Carolina, the battle in South Carolina to see who the best team's going to be. Of course, Clemson is the only ranked team. South Carolina's kind of been on that border, though, of being ranked all season, though they haven't really cracked it at any point. Clemson, number 4 in the country. They'll be taking on South Carolina on the road in Columbia this upcoming weekend. Do the Gamecocks get it done?
Well, I know Gamecocks are currently receiving votes for a top 25 in the AP poll. So they are showing a good season this year. They just haven't had as great as luck as they could have. But, you know, they're in Columbia this weekend. I'm going to go with South Carolina on this one.
Oh, wow. Of course, Clemson, maybe they're looking a little far ahead. You know, Miami on the horizon in the ACC title game 2 weeks from now. And, of course, they may be looking past this one. I'm going to use my head here because I don't seem to do well when I don't. But you'll probably get this one right, too. I'm going to go with the Tigers, Clemson, getting the job done. So it'll be interesting to see what our record is next week.
Yep. Something about the Tigers. You picking the Auburn Tigers and Clemson Tigers?
Well, I can tell you one thing. There's one pick on this screen that has the Tigers on it that I'm confident in. It's that Auburn game that I'm confident in that one.
I don't know about that now. I don't think so.
We shall see, folks. Big college football week coming up this weekend. Rivalry week. Playoff implications on the line. Conference title implications on the line. Really going to be an exciting weekend for college football. And, of course, let's talk NASCAR. And let's just kind of track back here and remember your picks last week.
Yep.
I mean, out of all the possibilities, you were 66% correct
2 out of 3
across all the series. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I didn't get Johnny Sawyer for the Truck Series. It was Christopher Bell who won that, and William Byron won for the Xfinity Series, and he'll be and both those drivers I just mentioned are moving up to the next series. So I think when they won those championships, I think they deserved it when they moved up. They're going to be moving to bigger teams. And Martin Truex Jr. had a storybook ending to his season.
Yep.
And winning the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series championship.
And winning the race.
Yes, and winning the race. And which has happened every time since we had this playoff type format.
That is really neat. And it's really neat how it works out like that. We've talked all season about Martin Truex Jr. And, you know, I talked Kyle Busch winning last week. I really had to go with somebody other than what you said. But the reality
Kyle
is...
Busch came close.
Yeah, he did. But Truex Jr., I mean, this has been his year. No doubt about it. He's at the top of all the races. And, of course, now he's the champion.
Yep.
And it's got to be a good feeling for him.
And it's well-deserved, too. I think out of anyone, he deserved it the most.
Fantastic. Folks, NASCAR, we're done with NASCAR till...
We've got 89 days to Daytona 500. And
wow.
I'm very excited to get 2018 season.
Sure. Well, as soon as we get there, football will be over, and we'll be talking a lot more football in between now and then. We'll see who's right on the picks. Join us next Tuesday for another edition of Russell Parker, Lance Jenkins, College Football, and NASCAR Breakdown. And, folks, stay with us. We will be right back. Russell, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
And we will be right back for more Live at 5 right after this.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
Welcome back to Live at 5. And now for tonight's top sports story. The Richmond Senior High School wrestling team got its season started Saturday with a third-place finish in the Raider Rumble. Richmond, which hosted the tournament, placed behind Lumberton High School, who finished first, and Asheboro High School, who finished second. The two schools are the only two that handed the Raiders losses on the day. The team had wins against Southeastern Randolph, Douglasburg, and Anson, but the Raiders couldn't muster enough strength and fell to Lumberton and Asheboro. Now to Kelsey for the weather.
Thanks, Haley. Today's 3-day weather forecast is brought by the City of Rockingham. As you can see from our office cam, the holidays are in swing. In literally less than 2 days, it will be Thanksgiving, and I am looking forward to stuffing my face. Despite that, it's going to be cold that day as well, but let's move on to the 3-day forecast, and you'll see what I mean. Wednesday will have a high of 65 with a low of 34 that evening, partly cloudy, and then Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we'll have a high of 54 and a low of 31, which is below freezing, cloudy that evening as well. Friday will have a high of 60 with a low of 34, but it will be sunny, so at least that's good. Other than that, I'm going to see you back at the desk for the rest of today's episode. And that's a wrap for today's Live at 5 episode. Reminder that Thursday and Friday we will not air, but tomorrow we will have a Thanksgiving edition. Also remember that the RO app is free to download, as well as the Richmond Observer app to explore. And remind everyone that all your content and this is on said website and app.
Yes, and don't forget that it's Thanksgiving, and let's all take some time to really be thankful for all those things that are around us, the simple things in life, the things that really matter.
Right, so definitely be sure to keep an eye out for that Thanksgiving edition, because it's going to be really interesting.
Yep. We're all going to take some time to really share with our viewers the important things in our lives and what really matters to us. And I think there might even be some shout outs to our viewers as well.
Right. But other than that, let's move on and wrap up today's episode, and we'll see you next time on our Monday edition. So,
good night, Richmond County.